Imagine walking through a quiet forest in Eastern Europe. Everything seems peaceful, but beneath your feet lies the remains of one of the greatest civilizations the world has almost forgotten. A civilization older than the Egyptian pyramids, older than Stonehenge, a people who built enormous settlements, created breathtaking art, and lived in some of the largest communities on Earth. Then, something impossible happened. Their cities burned, one after another, hundreds of them. Strangely, archaeologists found almost no evidence of a massive war. No written records explaining what happened. No king, no final message. It was as if an entire civilization simply erased itself from history. Who were these mysterious people? Why did they repeatedly burn the cities they had spent generations building? And how could a civilization so advanced disappear without a trace? Today, we're uncovering one of archaeology's greatest mysteries, the lost world of the Cucuteni Trypillia Civilization. To understand one of history's greatest mysteries, we first need to travel back nearly 7,000 years, a time before great empires, before famous kings, and before history was written in books. Across the fertile plains of what are now Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine, a remarkable civilization quietly emerged. Today, archaeologists call them the Cucuteni Trypillia Civilization. They first appeared around 5,500 BC, during a time when most people in Europe lived in small farming villages. But these people were different. Generation after generation, their villages grew larger, their skills became more advanced, and their communities expanded into something the ancient world had rarely seen. They discovered fertile land, rivers full of fresh water, forests rich with timber, and everything they needed to build a thriving society. Over the centuries, they transformed the landscape. Small settlements became large communities, and large communities became enormous cities. Their civilization would survive for almost 2,000 years, leaving behind thousands of settlements that still puzzle archaeologists today. Yet despite their incredible achievements, most of the world has never heard their story. Imagine waking up nearly 6,000 years ago. The morning sun rises over one of the largest settlements on Earth. Smoke gently drifts from hundreds of rooftops as families begin another peaceful day. Farmers leave their homes before sunrise, walking toward fertile fields where they grow wheat, barley, peas, and lentils. Nearby, shepherds guide cattle, sheep, and goats across the green grasslands. In the heart of the settlement, skilled potters carefully shape clay into beautiful vessels unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. Their pottery wasn't just useful, it was art, painted with breathtaking red, black, and white spiral designs that still amaze archaeologists today. The homes themselves were remarkable, built from timber, clay, and straw. Many had 2 floors, separate living spaces, clay ovens, and carefully organized interiors. The settlements were designed in huge circular patterns, with wide open spaces between neighborhoods. Thousands of people lived together, yet there is almost no evidence of massive walls or powerful armies. It seems they chose cooperation instead of conquest. For centuries, their civilization flourished in peace, but that peaceful world would not last forever. For centuries, the Cucuteni Trypillia civilization flourished. Their cities grew larger, their people prospered. Everything seemed to point toward an even greater future. But then, something extraordinary began to happen. Archaeologists discovered that settlement after settlement had been destroyed by fire. Entire neighborhoods burned to the ground. Wooden walls collapsed. Clay houses were baked by intense heat. Thousands of years later, the blackened remains still lie beneath the soil. At first, researchers believed enemy armies had attacked these cities, but the evidence told a different story. There were no signs of massive battles, no huge collections of weapons, no clear evidence of large-scale massacres. Instead, many archaeologists now believe something even more mysterious. The people may have burned their own cities, on purpose. But why? Was it part of a sacred ritual? Did they believe every generation should begin again? Or were they forced to abandon their homes because of an approaching disaster? Even today, no one knows the answer. And that single question has become one of archaeology's greatest mysteries. The burned cities were only the beginning. The greatest mystery was yet to come. Around 3000 BC, the Cucuteni Trypillia Civilization began to disappear. Slowly, settlement after settlement was abandoned. The great cities that had once been filled with life fell completely silent. But unlike many ancient civilizations, there is no single answer explaining what happened. Scientists have spent decades searching for clues. One theory points to climate change.
Layer 3 corresponds
Evidence
to the late Bronze Age
suggests
of
that
the
long
ashlands here.
periods of drought may have made farming increasingly difficult. Without enough food, large communities may have become impossible to support. Another theory suggests that migrating steppe peoples, including groups associated with the Yamnaya culture, entered the region. Their arrival may have changed the balance of power, leading some communities to leave their homes. Others believe disease, resource shortages, or a combination of many different problems slowly weakened the civilization over generations. Perhaps there was no single disaster. Perhaps one challenge after another slowly brought an extraordinary civilization to its end. Even today, archaeologists continue searching for answers, but the final chapter remains unwritten. Thousands of years have passed, kingdoms have risen, empires have fallen, and the world has changed beyond recognition. But beneath the quiet fields of Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine, the Cucuteni Trypillia Civilization still sleeps beneath the earth. Every broken piece of pottery, every burned foundation, every forgotten home tells us that these people were real. They laughed, they loved, they raised families, they dreamed of the future, never knowing that one day their names would be forgotten. Today, archaeologists continue searching for answers. Every new discovery brings us one step closer, yet every answer creates even more questions. Why did they burn their cities? Why did one of the largest civilizations of prehistoric Europe disappear? Was it climate change, migration, disease, or something we still haven't discovered? Perhaps the truth is still buried beneath the soil, waiting for the next generation of archaeologists to uncover it. Until that day, the Cucuteni Trypillia Civilization remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. And maybe the greatest discoveries are still waiting beneath our feet. Every ancient stone, every forgotten city, every civilization leaves behind a story. Some stories are written in books, others are written beneath the earth. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more forgotten civilizations, because history still has many secrets left to reveal.